in a boat, t-shirt with a dinner coat, a Venezuela like I'm the ghost of Demencio. On any day getting folded in a tinted vehicle, like an old BK gangster, but I'm the CEO of Nasty Nine.
All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of A Different Echelon. This is the podcast where we educate, enrich, and empower. Tonight's guest, and I should give the date. This is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. Just very happy and very proud to have a young man that I met, I think last year, here in the Charleston area. Again, we're located in Charleston, South Carolina. Bright young man, and I call him young because we look about the same age, but he's about 20 years younger than me. Yeah, but we're gonna put our hands together for Mr. David White Jr. of the Dropping Pin blog. What's up, David? How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, doing well. Where are you at right now? Where are you?
I'm at workshop. Call it a cafeteria space down in downtown Charleston, right next to Edmonds Old Brewery.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah, the great city of Charleston, South Carolina. So, yeah, we had some weather here, man. So I guess you got on the raincoat or whatever. I'm in the arc of safety at the house. But definitely, man, this has been, and we always touch on something important and something serious at first on the different echelon. Last Tuesday we had the elections happen between President Trump and Joe Biden. I don't know if people are tired of talking about it, but it's still a hot topic nonetheless.
Definitely.
So now we found out, I think it took us, and this is the first time in history as I can remember it, that there's been so much controversy in regards to the presidency. I think there was a controversy back in, let me go back, 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2004, I believe it was, with President George W. Bush went up against Al Gore, and there was some, as we would say, some fugaziness, some controversy, down in Florida. Shout out to Florida, but it seems like if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it seems, but there was some controversy in regards to the votes and all of that stuff, and I guess they got that sorted out. So George Bush was the president, remained president. But anyway, we know that President Trump, and I like to be respectful to people, so I'm gonna call him President Trump. President Trump, went up against Joe Biden, and it seemed like forever. And I think they still count votes in Nevada. And
Yeah, one of those things.
It's been like 10 days, but former Vice President Biden was announced the winner. And it's very interesting how this thing is all shaken down. I'm asking you a serious question. First of all, did you vote?
Yes, I did.
All right, that's good. So now we can have the conversation.
All right.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
32.
32 years old. Okay, that's good. I'm not that much older. All right, that makes it feel better. But what would you say? Like, I mean, you've obviously voted before. Maybe not for the presidency, but definitely locally. I know you're out there in these streets, as they say. Like, what can you say about the difference between this election and last elections or previous election? Like, what type of energy do you think have you been feeling?
Yeah, I think especially with this most recent election, I don't think nobody was sold on either candidate.
Yeah,
Representing each party, Republican, Democratic nominee. So I think that kind of was, I guess, kind of set me back on what kind of direction I need to go in.
Okay.
We all know Biden's history. We know Trump's history pretty much. So I think me personally, that was just kind of like how I go about deciding which direction I want to go in.
Right.
I think this year was one of the years I kind of put specific interests first.
Yeah.
I think just growing up and just being part of the society now, just kind of like not necessarily thinking about just voting straight party.
Yeah.
And I think voting interest is more important now. So for me, at least.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with someone this morning about voting straight party versus an individual candidate, and I think it's important because and again I speak for me. I don't speak for any set of people, but I know that we all just being a black person, a lot of our mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, so on and so forth, they will vote straight party.
Right.
And as a little joke, I remember probably 16 or maybe a little less than that, maybe 10 years ago, there was a candidate. I believe he was running for senator in South Carolina. His name was Alvin Green,
Mhm.
and somebody told me that they voted straight ticket
Mhm.
and they voted for Alvin Green, thinking that it was the singer Al Green. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But so again, when you vote, and this is not necessarily a political show, but when you vote, you definitely have to vote for the candidate. You can't vote for the party. I mean,
Right.
that you do what you want to do, but in my opinion, it'll behoove you to look at every different, agenda differently or separately, and look toward every candidate separately. But it just seems like there's still some kind of hysteria. I believe that the Trump administration has yet to concede, therefore they're not relinquishing the right information to
My,
the cabinet coming in. Yeah, there's some foreign phone calls and communications that need to be had between the Biden administration and these foreign countries, and Trump's people are blocking it, not wanting
right.
to concede. So, I just hope and pray that things get straightened out either way, because it is not about Trump or Biden. It's about the people.
Exactly.
At least it's supposed to be about the people. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. So, but anyway, just want to touch on that real quick. But let's get into you. So you have a blog, all right, and I am not tech savvy necessarily. I'm not social media savvy necessarily. I can maneuver, I can do my thing, but I'm not one that is on it like that. So, a blog for people like me, which I know what a blog is, but explain to people what blogs are.
Right. So I think I want to correct you. I think the difference in a blogger, I would call myself an influencer,
Okay.
because I don't write, and I don't want
Oh,
to take.
okay.
I want to give
Okay.
bloggers his due respect to actually put in time about writing. What I kind of do is influence through experiences that it can include pictures or travel and things like that. So my platform is called the Dropping Pin. I had
Right.
that for it's going on 4 years. Just I guess had my 4 year anniversary back in
Mm-hmm.
August.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, it just started off as a platform where I was collecting pictures and food, pictures of food and travel I was taking already. So I just kind of said, hey, well, how can I make this a platform to influence, people that don't know how to go about doing what I do, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I think it's and I was looking at your thing there, and I was like, I thought I saw blog on there, but nah, it's fine. I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and I think
Yeah, I
that
see.
might be on there because they didn't have anything else. I guess would have been fitting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good though. So we're social media friends, and you do a lot of traveling. So with your particular social media influence, like what exactly do you do at the dropping pin? Like give us exactly what you do.
So I guess my basis is kind of just education.
Okay.
Letting I guess my influence started again from I grew up in the city of Charleston, and
Yeah.
I was exposed to traveling and tasting, or sit down in halls. When growing up, I feel like I could afford halls, but
Right.
I mean it's affordable, but it's more than a lot of other places. But that just was something I was exposed to. So I think my job as educating the youth, say, hey, you can do this, you can travel, you can go to Jamaica, you can sit down in the hall. So that's kind of like my background.
Yeah, okay. And just for those of who don't know, he's referring to a very very high end, great restaurant in the Charleston area.
All right.
I hesitate to call their name because they don't pay me, Therefore, I'm not gonna call their
Yeah,
name.
no, no,
Nah, shout those. Let me stop playing. Shout out to Horse Chop House. Now I like them. I used to play piano there for their Sunday brunch some years back. So
gotcha.
yeah, we have some history. I do like them. I'm not gonna make them pay us any money, but
Yeah,
but
I was just using them
and
as an
it's
example, but it's
yeah.
kind
No, I
of
understand what you're saying. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just saying there are a lot of places that, especially me, I took advantage of growing up here.
Hmm.
Again, I didn't think I could go to those type places. So now I feel like it's immediate to me. Like now that I go there, it's like, hey, y'all can go here too.
Yeah. David, with your headphones on, just kind of keep your face straight because when you turn to the side, we can't hear you. Yeah. So anyway, I was going to say, that's important, and I know that a lot of we're just going to say minorities don't have the opportunity to experience five-star restaurants.
Right.
And it's interesting because I have these conversations with various people, those who are of an adult age, and they can. Well, I don't want to say they can or they can't because I don't know how much money they make, what their pockets look like. But there is an intimidation factor that goes into it where they'll go into a nice establishment. It could be actually be a hotel, not necessarily a restaurant, and they see things look a certain way, and they're
Right.
automatically intimidated by it. So for me, I look at it as a challenge, and I know it's a personality thing, but I look at it as a challenge to say, you know what? I actually do belong here. And I'll tell you this, I remember the first time I went to a five-star restaurant. I was a younger guy, I was in my 20s. At the time, I was married, and I was very uncomfortable. I'll be very honest with you. I was uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it being so quiet. I wasn't used to it. And, and I grew up in a good household, but my parents, we didn't go to five-star restaurants. So, with the industry that I was in, my present company at the time, they were going to five-star restaurants all the times on luxurious vacations. And I think I just kind of wanted to see what they were talking about because every day at work, they would come back and say, "Oh man, went to this place. Like, oh, the food is great." Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm gonna see what this is all about. And I did it, and at first I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I had like a moment, and I said, "You know something? I belong here. So I
Yeah,
don't need
definitely.
to feel uncomfortable or be ashamed." And that's one of the things that is not just respective to a certain race of people. I think it's just certain people, don't feel like it because they haven't been exposed to it. They don't feel like they deserve it or whatever it may be. But even with that being said, so you travel all around the nation, basically having experiences and tasting food and different things like that. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I mean, first of all, follow his IG page. It is at the dropping pin. Is that correct?
It is.
All right. And I'm gonna tell you, don't follow his page and be hungry and see the food that he has on those pictures. I mean, it's just gonna make you. But I mean, so much great food. So, all right. So, tell me this: what was the very first place you went that you blogged about?
Oh man, like it's been 4 years.
You remember that?
I don't remember my first place.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
I
I'll tell
got
you
my
what, give
favorite.
yeah. Well, give me your most memorable place that you, and I'm not gonna say blog, but you influenced. Give us the memorable place.
Yeah, so I actually probably isn't the place. I think this year I was for the first time was I was contracted to Charleston Wine Food Festival.
Okay.
Uh, so and I had a decent position there. They had me staff three events at Grab,
Mm.
which is a wine bar, so it's not even
Yeah.
dessert food. I just
Right.
think that I wish I've been in Grab before, but I think that experience kind of like motivated me to dive into this a little bit more. But of
Right.
course, right after that, COVID happened.
Right. Exactly.
I think Grab and a lot of the black-owned restaurants are always my favorite. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And tell me, so what did you learn from that experience?
just kind of like a lot of background, how to not necessarily, of course, shout out to Femi and Miles, they were good guys, but I think the experience of knowing how much work goes into putting on production,
Yeah.
and of course, definitely how a little bit
Yeah.
more about wine.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing too. As you grow older, David, you'll see that and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but you move away from certain beverages and
Right? Yeah.
you move toward wine, And it's just like, okay, when you go to those 5-star restaurants that we just talked about, you're gonna have a certain type of wine that goes with the meal, wine pairing. You know what I mean?
Parent, yeah,
Does the red wine go? Does the Merlot go with the steak, with the tomahawk steak, or whatever it may be? So that's very good that you were able to do that, and that hits on what we do here on the Different Echelon podcast. We do educate and just want to enrich. So, speaking of wine, do you have a favorite type of wine? Let me see where you are.
So I actually prefer rosés. Actually,
Ah, okay. My man Rose. Now we're not talking about that guy,
no,
right?
no, the rosé.
Nah. We talk about Rose.
I'll do a Cabernet,
Okay.
but
Okay.
between rosés and Cabernet, I'm gonna go to.
Yeah,
I do
okay.
my
Okay, that sounds good. Now you just now and speaking of Charleston, now again, you plugged another place in this cool Graft Wine Bar, and it's interesting. Number one, shout out to Graft. I've been there a few times. And they always treat me very well. Very nice place, aesthetically pleasing, and it's funny because next week we're gonna have Leah's Wine Shop from Old Village. Now she's going to be my guest next week, and what we're seeing is, and I love it because culturally, us as African Americans slash Black people, whatever you want to call us, we're getting into that game, and it's very important for us to go into places like that and see people that look like us.
right.
And I'm going to say it because I don't care. It's good to see us in an ownership position, not just in the back cooking or washing dishes.
Oh, I get
Amen.
it. Yes, sir.
All right, so it's very important for us to have that, to see that. And with that being said, you were just in Miami, right?
I was. This past
Okay,
weekend.
yeah. So tell us about that experience.
Yep. So we definitely we just went for a homeboy's birthday. We had a
Uh huh.
plan for about a month or two. Again, like I said, for education, we kind of came across a cheap flight.
Yeah.
Say, hey, let's go to Miami, but it ended up being like for his birthday, so we celebrated his birthday down there.
Okay.
Again, education, we found a cheap place to stay, just do deals and discounts.
Right.
Unfortunately, we had bad weather. I think they had
Yeah.
a trouble out there, but
Yeah.
still had a good time, man. We ate black, black owned restaurant down there, really good. And of course, we did a little lounge, we just chilled out,
Yeah.
especially with the weather.
Yeah. And somebody that may be listening to this that wants to know why we always talking about Black this, Black that. So many times Black businesses get a bad rap. Some of it's warranted, but most of the times it's not. And it's very important that we promote those businesses that are doing the right thing, that look out for their customers and look out for their patrons. And I love to shop Black. I love to shop, period, but I love to shop Black because like I said, we get overlooked. And I think that if we're gonna give other races and businesses our money, and the one statistic I love to quote, and it talks about the power of the Black dollar. We are a $1 trillion a year race of people. So if you take our money out of the circulation of the budget of America, the numbers gonna look different. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So I always like to keep that in mind, and I'll promote, and even with that being said, um, you have been to a lot of different places. Um, what was the worst? Don't call the name of the place,
Okay.
but just give us the experience. What was the worst experience you ever had in doing your influencing with this project? And
Yeah.
tell us why. Tell us why.
I think again, like I just say, sometimes it's warranted, a lot of times it's not. But I think recently, me and a group of friends who went out to the spot. I mean, just not as advertised.
Mhm,
I
right.
think we got there, we were all disappointed just because, what we saw on social media, word of mouth. When we got there, it was just so disappointing. Staff wasn't knowledgeable about products or services. Just
Yeah. Now, and that's the thing. I found that the people that are in front represent your business.
right.
And the thing that I hate, to be honest with you, when I go to a place, I don't care where it is. I had a conversation with someone today. about an experience they had at a retail chain.
Oh,
And to
wow.
find a simple item, they were directed 4 different times to 4 different areas. And I know bigger companies look at it maybe a little bit differently, but everyone starts as a mom and pop, whatever it may be. I don't care if it's a corner store, I don't care if it's an electronics store, whatever. Anyway, that is very disconcerting to a customer. So, when you have a person that represents your company and they don't do what they're supposed to do, they don't give, excuse me, the customer the information they need to get to purchase the item, which is that's the
Right.
key to business, is to sell items to keep the lights on. It's a bad thing. So, what specifically can you give us what happened specifically to kind of turn you off?
Yeah, like I said, just from the beginning, when we entered, it just didn't. It took a while to get seated. I mean, I
It was a
literally,
restaurant, though.
it was
It
a
was a
restaurant. Yeah,
restaurant.
it was a
Okay,
restaurant.
okay.
Sorry, it was a restaurant. Took a while to get seated, served. The server did not know the menu. She just wasn't trained, or she wasn't prepared, or to know what was on the menu. We said things that, and we saw her, and we could tell that she didn't know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Then we found out that they ran out of whatever we ordered. I'm like,
Right. That's
okay.
terrible. Yeah.
And then
They,
she like
they,
didn't know much about maybe, and it looked like it was her first service. Maybe.
yeah. Yeah. Now, did you guys call over the manager, or what? How did you resolve
Nah,
it?
I don't know. I think I just went with what they had, dealt with it, went from there.
I'm a manager caller. I call a manager. I'm gonna
I
tell you that
know a
right
lot of
now.
people.
I call because I honestly, and it's not to be, to make the server look bad,
Right.
but that manager should have the same type of intensity as far as, as just as the owner in regards to getting, the product right and getting the product out to the customer.
Oh, I
And they
agree.
need to know that that person is not knowledgeable, and not to get the person fired, but they may just need to be trained a little bit more.
Trained. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's really what it comes down to. And even in your traveling, David, I want you to answer this question for me. You travel all around, and I'm low key jealous of you. I'm gonna say it publicly. Nah, I'm proud of you, man. But what challenges do you face in traveling now? And you can add in the whole idea of COVID, like you know. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
outside. He got a bug in his face.
But no, definitely COVID. COVID was a huge setback.
Yeah.
And I just, well, I guess a part of traveling is, I'm big on experiences. So
Hmm.
if I go to DC and my favorite restaurant is closed, it's like, okay, well, why am I here now?
Yeah, right. It messes up everything.
I mean, that literally happened. So,
Hmm.
it,
Yeah.
it, it's just the I don't know. I got to load. You still hear me, right?
Yeah, I'm here. You good, man. You good to
Okay,
go.
cool.
I thought
But yeah,
somebody was sticking you up, man. You was paused for a second, man. But go
but
ahead.
yeah, just not being able to experience what I had planned was a
Yeah.
huge factor for me. Which I'm not a scheduled person. I kind of like wing it, but I
Yeah.
also know what I want to wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I got you, man. And I think that is interesting, and is good that you are that you're definitely doing that and getting out there, because a lot of people, maybe your age or whatever have you, people that look like you don't feel like, they can go out and travel. I
right,
honestly don't
right,
travel as much as I should, because it's a decompression time for you
yeah,
as well. You work a tough job or you have a tough life. You may just need to run down. And what's cool about Charleston, and I'm gonna get on Charleston for a little bit now, is that number one, we have some of the best weather in the nation. The weather, I would say that it's typically no colder than 75 degrees, probably 10 months out of the year, maybe nine, but we don't really get much of a winter.
right,
So,
right,
a lot of people literally fly south for the winter, like people that live in the Northeast
yeah,
or whatever. And this has been the number one, number two, I think it was number one in the world at one point,
yeah,
tourist place in the
yeah,
world. Like, that's incredible. And we have some of the greatest chefs. We have some of the greatest hotels. We have some of the like, even like I think at one point we were named the most courteous city in America. The people that hold the door for you, or that kind of thing. And with that being said, I think sometimes we're spoiled. So when we go abroad and we have, experiences, and not that you should not be hard on a person who doesn't know the menu or know what's going on, but at the end of the day, we are kind of spoiled because we have everything here.
Yeah.
And the one thing, and it's kind of funny because the one thing I'm seeing a lot of, and I'm guilty of it. I'm a big dude. I love barbecue. I feel
Okay.
like we have a ton of barbecue restaurants here, man. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug one of the brothers, Rodney Scott, in Charleston. I mean, when you turn on the Food Network, David, or you open the Food Magazine or whatever it may be, or get on their social media platform, Food Network, Food TV, whatever it may be, you see Rodney Scott. And
Yeah.
that's great. And if I'm not mistaken, you may know a little bit more than I do. Hemingway is where he's from originally, or where he started his
Started the
initial
first
place.
location. Yeah. Then he
Yeah.
opened it, I think, somewhere in Alabama. Was the next
Oh,
one.
he got something new in Alabama now. See,
Yep.
that's good. And I know they
Yep.
don't like that because you know. So anyway, on King Street in Charleston, you could get some of that good old barbecue from Rodney Scott's. But there are a lot of guys. I mean, I got to shout out John Lewis is another guy. He's not
Yep.
African American, but he has great barbecue down there. Since
Mm-hmm.
we shouting people out, but you eat and you drink wine and you vacation and all that stuff. Like, what are some of your favorite places that you like to go? Like, do you what would you rather do? Like, you like to go to restaurants more, or you like to just like?
Yeah. So I think breweries are my things now.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Breweries.
Yeah,
You drink
man.
beer like that?
I do.
Is that right? Is that
I
right?
do.
Don't let me tell your daddy. Now just playing. Go ahead, man. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
what kind of beer you like, man?
man, I'm open to just about anything. We actually just had this conversation yesterday. I'm not a sour person, but anything else, that's me.
You like ales? Okay.
Stout ales, just sours. I'll drink
Yeah.
one, but
All right. Yeah, and that's another thing that's big here in the Charleston area is breweries.
Mhm.
I don't really care for beer. They make fun of me being a big dude. I'll pull up like an apple ale in a minute. It's just like apple juice with ginger ale in it. You know what I mean? So that's really my thing. But yeah, barbecue restaurants and breweries are good. And also too, I'm a performer as well, and I'm happy to see places are opening up because I've been blessed and fortunate to have another job,
Right.
not just playing music, but because the places are opening up, musicians are have a chance now to go out and play their music and make some money and feed their families and support
Yeah.
themselves. So it's very, very good. So I'm actually gonna play a little game with you, man. Play a little game with you. So I'm gonna name a place that you have traveled, and I want you to give me a one-word answer to it.
Okay.
Okay? Or what's the first thing that comes to mind? All
Okay.
right. We're gonna go all the way out west. Now I know you may have been there a couple times, and again, I'm just going by what you post. All
I
right.
got you.
All right, here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Los Angeles, California. What's the first thing that comes to mind? And do not say Nipsey Hussle. Now go.
No, overrated.
Overrated.
Yes.
Oh, you better stay over here with that behavior, man. So why do you say the overrated?
So I
Overrated,
think
excuse me.
I went to LA and it's been a while. I think I went in 2012. I was
Okay.
still in college. Just super expensive, super high class. At that point we didn't know. I didn't know about how far. I didn't think I would have been interested. So I guess I did the OC thing, and that didn't really put me.
Yeah. Now, did you make it out to Roscoe's? Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?
I know. No, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
we went.
All right.
I don't,
All
I
right.
don't remember. Yeah.
So we got LA, we got overrated. All right. All right. All right. Let's do another one.
Okay.
All right. Now, were you just in Texas? Was it San Antonio?
Nope, I was at in February.
You were in Houston in February.
Yes.
All right. So what would you say about Houston?
Houston, I would say Liddy.
Liddy.
Yeah,
Liddy meaning y'all party, huh?
yeah, definitely. We had a really good time from food to entertainment. So we went to a Rockets game.
Oh
Just had a
wow.
really good time in Houston, man.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Now we already did Miami. Now, have you been to the Northeast?
No,
Okay.
nowhere.
So let's do it this way. Name a place that you where you haven't been that you'd like to go,
Oh,
and
you said
why do
no.
you want to go there?
Yes, I have been to New York.
Yeah. Yeah, so tell me, so you're hitting it now. Be careful because I'm from New York. So
I
when I
got
see
you.
you, I'm just playing. Nah, all right. So New York, what do you think about New York?
I guess my word would be um interesting.
Okay, how so?
I think big variety between what I'm used to and what I haven't seen before. There was some interesting people,
Mm,
food. I mean, I enjoyed it,
yeah,
but there were a lot
yeah.
of sketch things too.
Listen, I mean that's the thing. Like we, honestly, Charleston, we call ourselves a city, but it's not a city. It's really a town.
Right.
And I say that because when I think of a city, I think of a city that has a lot more. How can I say this? It's more eclectic in regards to different types of people.
Okay.
When you go to LA, when you go to Houston, you go to Atlanta for that matter. When you go to New York, you see various types of people. Here you pretty much have two and a half, ethnicities represented here. When you go to DC, I'm not sure if you've been to DC, but DC has a very big Nigerian, or excuse me, Ethiopian population, that kind of thing. So I definitely feel that. So out of the country, where have you been out of the country?
So the funny thing is, the only place I've been out of the country is Jamaica and Cozumel, Mexico.
Okay, so both are tropical places.
Yeah,
So which one do you prefer?
definitely Jamaica.
Okay, why is that? Because they look like us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So with this being said, like, do you have anybody that you would call an influence to you? So as a musician, I have people that influence me. Like
Right.
with what you do, are you influenced by anyone?
Yeah, definitely. We
Yeah,
talking
name
local
them.
or
Yeah, just whatever, man.
man, I can go for
Give me like three names. Give me like three
all
names.
right. The cocktail band is for sure. Shout out to
You know what's so funny? This is no lie to you.
for that.
I have you can't see this. What's the thing? But I have their name right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're in the same vein, and we'll talk. Let's save them for last, okay? Because I want to talk about them, and if they're listening or watching, I want to get you ladies on. I've been very nicely stalking you for the last year. Not to holler at y'all. I just admire what you do. But yeah. So give me two more, and we'll come back to the cocktail bandits.
Yeah. KJ Kearney. Just left a meeting with him earlier today.
Who's that?
KJ Kearney.
KJ Kearney. He's a local guy.
Yep, local guy.
Okay.
And then my partner, Keith, he was his birthday celebrating in Miami last weekend. I guess I would probably influence it just the kind of way he put this together. Kind of my angle.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I kind of missed the first person that you named. What's that person's name again?
KJ Kearney.
Yeah, KJ Kearney. Yeah, hold it like that. That's perfect. It's perfect.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How does that person influence you?
I think KJ just well versed in everything. You just want to people that know something about everything,
Yeah.
and just always welcoming and comforting. Just to go to him and be like, "Help me."
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. So let's get to the ladies, the cocktail bandits. So let's again, shout out to them, and they're your friends. So tell us what they do and how they have influenced the city of Charleston, and not just Charleston, but their audience and how they've influenced you. So tell us about the cocktail bandits.
So I definitely don't want to mess this up, but they're definitely the girls that talk cocktails all the time.
Yeah.
So they work with big brands, home brands, small brands, on based on education of alcohol.
Okay.
And I hope
Good.
that deserves, but I mean that's the just of what I believe from it. So, but they do way more. They got a book, they got recipe book. They've been all over the world. They've been
Yeah.
to Cognac France. I was jealous for that.
Oh wow.
So, but they definitely are what I would envision the drop to be. So,
All right. Yeah. So what are the names again?
Tanika and John.
Okay. Yeah, they and I just in the realm of like kind of what you do, they're like in that same field, so to speak. Not exactly what you do, but in the same vein. So I saw them on IG maybe 2 years ago, and I'm always happy and encouraged when I see young African American, especially women, doing what they're doing.
Right.
And it's so funny because I feel like, and this is no slight at all, but I'm gonna put you in the same category. Every day party that I see on IG or whatever is like you and the cocktail bandits are always at these day parties. I'm like, wow, this is pre-COVID, but no, it's good. It's good to see that because you're getting out and you're networking, you're rubbing elbows, and you guys are probably sharing experiences and also advice. Like, they could have gone to a place that you may be looking to go, and they may say, well, this is what you need to look out for, and this is what you need to do, or whatever the case may be. So that's very, very important, man. So we're going to close out in a second, man. But I just want to, first of all, thank you again. This is David White Jr. of the Dropping Pin influencer. He's an influencer on IG, not a blogger. He corrected me earlier. But I just want to say, let me ask you a couple more questions. I got a list here of things, but I don't want to hold you. And people's attention span is not that long. But what is your favorite place to eat? I'll let you plug this one out. What's your favorite place to eat locally, and give me one abroad?
The Rib Guy.
The Rib Guy.
My homeboy restaurant. It's been there for a long time, very long time. Started cooking about I think 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
There, but he's
Right.
always been cooking.
Yeah.
I'm also going to plug. He doesn't have a restaurant or spot. My homeboy Chef Sterl, he's the executive chef at the Marriott. I mean, so I
Okay.
guess the restaurant too. So,
Yeah.
but he's a chef there. So between the Rib Guy and the Marriott Hotel.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a place abroad that you would call your favorite, or amongst your favorite restaurants?
I would say abroad, definitely domestic. I think the Brown Sugar Cafe was probably
Okay.
is one of my standouts. Then Stands in DC.
Okay. What was the second one in DC?
Stands.
Stands. Okay. Yeah. Hold it like that, D. All right. That's good. That's good. Now, what is your favorite food?
Wings.
Who? All right. On the spot. Who's got the best wings?
I don't know, man. It's different. I actually really like Chillin' Grill wings.
I was gonna say that.
Yep, Chillin' Grill got good wings, man. Vibes had good wings. I had them for the first time about 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I like the smoked wing, so Swing and Swine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Prohibition got good wings. That's
Yeah.
King Street.
Now take me somewhere. Take me somewhere not in Charleston.
Not in Charleston. Columbia. Aline's.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a good spot. And they got these honey wings.
All right.
They're pretty good.
That's good. And I was going to say Chill and Grill. Shout out to Rashad and Mike of at Chill and Grill. My band performed there a few times, and it's like whenever I leave, I eat up my bar tab. So I use my bar tab on the wings.
Yeah.
But it's real good. And again, those are African American Black entrepreneurs in the area. So tell us, what's next for the Dropping Pin? Like, are we going to continue? Is there going to be like a branch off from this particular
Not necessarily branch out, but I'm thinking about rebranding. So kind of like be a little bit more intentional.
Yeah.
So um, I guess more details to come.
Yeah. No problem. No problem at all. No problem at all. That's good. That's good. Well, listen, man. I thank you for your time. This has been a great conversation. This is something that you didn't have to do, but you did it just for the love. So I appreciate it. And I'll say this too. I know David kind of like peripherally because I've worked with his father and his uncle for several years, and I see him around town, and he always, give good dap and all that good stuff, man. So I thank you for taking the time out. So before we go, we have to do this. Let the people know how to get in contact with you. So let's get your all your social media information, and if you want to give out your email address or whatever business email address you have, please do that now. And speak
Yeah,
into the microphone so they can hear you now.
gotcha. Yeah. So definitely follow me on Instagram at the dropping pin, the dropping pin, and that's going to be the same for the email address, the dropping pin at gmail.com. Of course, that's that page, and I have my personal page, which is dwj.pdf on Instagram. You can see what I got going on there, I
Yeah.
guess.
That's good. That's good. Listen, humble young man doing great things in the Charleston area, but also doing great things outside of Charleston. He's looking to go and travel more abroad more. Great talking to you. Please, all these people that we mentioned, look them up on social media. Now everything is Googleable. That's not a word, but I use it.
Yeah.
Everything is Googleable, so you'll be able to get on Google and find out what these people are doing. Again, my next, I guess, pursuit as far as interviews goes, I gotta get in. And you're gonna help me. I'm gonna say this on the internet. That way, help me get in contact with the Cocktail Bandits because those
Gotcha. I'll
girls
take it right
are
now.
doing great things. Hey, text them right now. Them girls are doing great things. Those girls are doing great things in there. They're making a difference in their yeah, in the area and abroad. So I really appreciate you. Appreciate what they're doing. Once again, this is a different echelon. This is the podcast where we educate, enrich, and empower. You guys can get in contact with me at a different echelon on this YouTube page. I am a different echelon on IG, and my email address is Darris Darris Nolan Nolan 28 at Gmail. We're giving Gmail a lot of business today. But we're happy to do this. And next week we're going to have Leah's Wine Shop from what they call Old Village, Mount Pleasant, which is a suburb of Charleston, South Carolina. People don't Mount Pleasant don't like when I say that, but it's across the water from Charleston. But it's I guess I should clarify before they get me. But that is in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, a black-owned wine bar. So once again, this is David White of the Dropping Pin. Please follow him on those platforms. Thank you again, David. Man, God bless you. Hope you keep doing what you're doing. Be safe out there. Please wear your mask. Don't let anybody get close to you down there at the workshop. There you go. There you go. Keep a social distance, and everybody, you guys keep the faith and stay empowered, stay enriched, and stay educated. God bless you all. Have a good evening. Goodbye.
And I